Hello, this is Jeff Nelson, and today I'm going to explain the breathwork as taught by Dr. Joe Dispenza in combination with Wim Hof method. I've been doing the work with Joe Dispenza for about 4 years, and then Wim Hof, in teacher's training now. I've been doing that for over a year, cold exposure, and they're both very simple methods. Both teachers encourage you to find your own rhythm. They are both very natural teachers, and there's teaching mechanics, and then along with the mechanics, your body's going to adjust as you grow within the practice, and each day is going to be different. So I'm going to give you an explanation of what I do and then some of the mechanics, but it's important to not get caught up on micromanaging your body as you develop the practice. Your muscle memory is going to increase over time, and it's going to become more and more natural. Along with that, if you're curious about the pineal gland, as everybody probably is, the combination of Wim Hof with Joe Dispenza's work allows for a what I felt to be a longer time spent in where we're directing the pressure up through the gate and then putting our attention onto the pineal. So not going to get all into the mechanics of it because those guys already teach that stuff. I'm just sharing my experience. So if you know Wim Hof, basically what you're going to do is you're going to do your fully in, fully out 15 times. During your first retention, you're contracting, and you're basically priming your body during that retention. During the full exhale and then the longer retention, that's when you're directing the energy up through the spine. And I will do another video and I'll probably demonstrate exactly how I do it. So as far as the pineal gland goes, if you've not had an awakening that way or not experienced it, it can come in a variety of ways. And so you have to imagine that it's like diving underneath the ocean. And as you dive in and go deeper, you're going to find things that are unknown to you. And sometimes you might swim into a cave and find something mysterious, and then it's going to scare you, and you might back off, or you might have all these sensations that you're unfamiliar with. And so as you proceed down this path, remember that should you come across one of these unknown cave dwellers, then it's okay to back off. But guess what? Your natural curiosity and your desire for the unknown is going to put you back in that cave someday. You're going to want to dive back into that cave. So also to be aware that when you're seeking something, the default mode network is on. That default mode network is the inner monologue in your mind. And during a pineal gland awakening or one of those awakenings, that voice is subdued. So there's practices that you can do leading up to it that might make that passage to the under and the deep sea easier for you if you practice a certain variety of meditation and or witness consciousness. So, becoming familiar with the observer and putting your attention on the observer versus putting the attention on the inner monologue and getting that default mode network to slow down. And when that slows down, then the likelihood of the experience the mystical experience you're seeking, that becomes easier for you. So, you cannot carry that voice in your head into underneath and into that cave. Eventually it's going to be chemically and mechanically. Right now with the breath work, you're going to, as Joe Dispenza would say, create the raw materials to allow that voice to, sometimes it will appear like it's in another room. It will feel very distant, very quieted, these kinds of things. So don't get caught up on the mechanics of it, because if you're sitting there going, am I doing it right? guess what? You're engaging the default mode network. So you kind of got to let go of it. And so the work with Wim Hoff and with Dr. Joe, the mechanical part of it is priming the body and getting the body into a position where it has the raw materials and the mechanics are right in order to produce the neurochemistry for the opening up of that gland. So along with that, you have proper mechanical position, which is your body, but you also have the proper position in your mind. And so the position within your mind is, if we just were to imagine two circles overlapping like this, one side is the observer, and then the other side is your, what I'll call mundane consciousness. This is your ordinary consciousness, where most of you are hanging out right now. That's the voice in your head, subsequent emotions, time, space, these types of things. Now, where those circles overlap, that's your attention. So the proper position mentally, in order to begin the exercise, is to put your attention onto that observer, and so that you're becoming more and more familiar with the observer as you practice the mechanical exercise of Wim Hof combined with Dr. Joe. So anyway, I hope that helps. In the next bit, I'm going to go over the mechanics of using Wim Hof with the Dr. Joe's breathing method, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from there.